So, people have been asking me to make a tutorial on this guy, and there is no way I'm gonna do that. It takes way too long, and it's painful to sit in front of the camera while sculpting this, because I can't look at the camera and look at the figure at the same time. I don't have a little, tripod for this to stand in such a way that I can have it pointing at the figure and know that it's always looking there. And my arms are always moving everywhere, so I don't know if I'll move it away from the camera either. But I guess I'll just give you an overview of what it is I did on this figure. So let's start with the head. The head is something that people always ask me about. So first off, the base figure is a shield soldier. And that is a shield agent head. Pretty much you just want to shave off his hair, make him bald, because he does sort of look like Robbie Baldwin. And then next, if you can see the shape of the guard around his head, it's just epoxy. And if you've seen my other videos, you see how I sculpt. So you get some skinny strips of epoxy, just lay it on his face and straighten it out with the knife, put some holes in there. And for his removable helmet, what I did was, when you make the epoxy, at first it's sticky. You want to wait for it to dry up a bit. Much so, in fact, that when you put it on his face, it won't stick to his face. So you put it on the first part on his face, like so, and then you wait for it to dry. And you should be able to peel away at it. And this is how I did it. So you have the first front part, and then you put it back on there after it's completely dry, and make a second one to go for the back of the head. And again, the same thing, wait for it to dry so that it doesn't stick to his head. And you should have like a full helmet. And of course it's not going to be smooth, so after you have his head covered, what you want to do is sand it with some sandpaper, so you got a smooth, covering for his face. And that's how you get the little helmet. And again, with the little lines, same thing, just put some lines, straighten it out with the knife, and I put a little block of, I think that's too big, I looked at some pictures, but I'm fine with it. So he's got that right there. As for the spikes, what you can use is, since I ran out of spikes right here, this is those plastic toothpicks. I just took the tips of those. You can use it on the head, but the ones I used right here, they're from a Chronicles of Riddick figure. It was his weapon. It was some sort of long lance mace type thing. It had like 100 of these on there, so I took that. And you want to super glue those in place, so you can get it right there. Or actually, I forget how I did it. I think maybe I put some epoxy balls in there first, and then stuck that in there and smoothened it. So you want to smoothen it with your fingers if you can fit in there. But you can also use a knife and shape it onto there. And I do believe I dremeled it with a small Dremel bit to smoothen it out, because it wasn't as smooth as I'd like. And that's the head right there. And then you got the neck thing. So you put some epoxy there, and then you take your knife or whatever and you carve in the lines, like that. And you wait for that to dry, because, well, that's how I did it. But for the chest, I started from the upper chest right here, just a flat piece into that shape, and then again carve in the lines, and I went down his body with the chest plate. And you wait for, you carve in the lines, put in the little dots, and after that's dried, then you can put in the extra details that go above that, like this, where his blood spills out. Same with the spikes. You wait for the chest piece to dry, so that you can add any of the extra stuff right here, like the spikes right here. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, the shield soldier has like a belt line around the waist, so you want to fill that in with epoxy so you don't see that anymore. And I leave the little strips like this for last, because they're very tedious. very I don't know the words. On his legs, again, strips, and then you straighten out the lines above the, you know, because it's boot cuffs with the knife, and then you want to smoothen out these edges right here that lead down to the leg. Smoothen it all the way around towards the leg so you don't see any separation there. So it's like it's part of the leg, because that's supposed to be a boot cuff right there. And the same on that side. And I know that this is not his knees, how his knees are supposed to be made, but I just made it like that. It's just a spike on his knee with epoxy on it. I was gonna fix that, but I'm too lazy now. I already did too much on this guy. More toothpick pieces right here on his leg. And again, part of his boot cuff, I think, or boot design, I don't know. But this has an edge right here, as well as this side, so I straightened out the lines right there. And then on the back right here, again, it's smoothened back, so it looks like it's part of the leg. And you do that on both legs. And for the tip of his feet, I put another spike there again. His feet actually was too long at first, so I cut off the tip of his feet so that this would be brought further back, because it looked longer. It was like out here, because I added the epoxy to the front of the feet with the spike, so then it made his foot longer and it looked weird. So I cut it off, cut off the tip of his feet. Still has the articulation, so you don't want to cut off the articulation, just the tip, and put the spike on there. Still got the little dot details in there. And then the last parts were these belts and stuff that are around his arms and hands and body. What I do is I make a ball of epoxy and just put the circle on there, and then I take a toothpick to the center and just kind of, you know, swirl it around until it's you know, it becomes a little ring like that. I know some people have used like tiny little metal rings. You can do that too if you want to. That'll be a lot easier. But I didn't have any, so I just sculpted it. And you want to do that when it's sticky, so it doesn't slide off. If you wait for it to dry up a bit and you try to do that, it falls off a lot, and it's going to be a lot harder to do it that way. So for the ball part, you just mix your epoxy, put it on there while it's sticky, and then do the toothpick thing right there. Do it on right there, and on his legs too. And if you want to, you can make the belt as well at the same time, and again, little strips of thing, and flatten it out, knife to straighten it out, and then toothpick, I always use a metal toothpick to put the dots in. Or you can wait for the ring to dry and then put that stuff on there. All in your preference. So I got some more rings around his hand right there. Right there. And also on his side of here, there's a ring right there, as well as a ring right there. And the belts leading to the ring right there. And of course I left a split there so that he could still move. Again, same with the front. It's supposed to appear to be part of that, but I wanted to keep the articulation there. So yeah, that's that. I think that's it. That's it for the sculpting part. If you have any questions, just ask me. I'll try to answer as best I can. But yeah, let me know what you think of this guy so far right here. Looking cool. Just need to paint him up now. Movable helmet. Alright, catch you guys later. Peace.